Good evening. Thank you for joining me. So it's been a little while. Work has been pretty hectic, but appreciate you coming back for this episode. This is the second in a who knows how many part series concerning the law. And I thought we might compare some of what Paul says about the law to what the Bible says about the law. And just kind of have that as something as our basis as we move forward in the discussion. So Paul said that the law basically is all or nothing, and I hear this all the time. There's nothing further from the truth than that you either have to do all of the law or there's not any sense in doing any of the law. That makes absolutely no sense. That's like saying of all of the chores your parents gave you, if you didn't do every one of them perfectly, there was no sense in doing your chores. It just doesn't make any sense. But that was Galatians 5. In Romans 7, Paul talks about Christians being freed from the law. And this is one of the worrisome concepts for me as a Jew. If I've got you as a neighbor and thou shalt not kill means nothing, or murder actually, thou shalt not murder, means nothing to you, or thou shalt not steal, etc. Now we will talk later about some of the different understandings of which laws to keep, and I do know that my friend mentioned the moral laws. But I think I've mentioned before that the Bible isn't, or the law isn't broken down into moral laws. It is just as immoral to eat a cheeseburger as it is to cheat on your wife. It's just as immoral to eat pork as it is to murder. Although obviously there are different degrees there, I'll grant you that. But basically the immorality does not change. So anyway, Christians are freed from the law. The law is a mirror, or what we would call in Judaism training wheels, and that it shows you your sin and helps you to figure out what sin is, etc. That the law caused sin is in Romans 7, and I think that's kind of a crazy concept right there. That's like saying that the darkness caused light. It just doesn't make any sense. And then one of the most egregious Paul quotes on the law is 2 Corinthians 3:7, where he basically calls it a ministry of death chiseled in stone. So that's pretty out there, I'll say. So anyway, so what does the Bible say about the law? I've just got a few notes here. The Ramban, with an N final, says the mitzvot, or the commandments, are possessed of intrinsic worth and imbued with inherent sanctity. They reflect divine concern for man in his preservation of his physical well-being, as in the prohibition of certain foods which are detrimental to his health, and they aim at the development of his moral and spiritual character by educating him in ethical and religious principles, and by helping him to be ever mindful of his commitment to his faith. I think that's absolutely gorgeous, very beautiful. In our prayer book, we have a phrase. It says, bless us, our Creator, one and all, with your light, for you have given us by that light, the Torah, the guide to a life of caring, filled with generosity and contentment, kindness, well-being, and peace. Can't get much more gorgeous than that. And then the longest chapter, you ask anybody on the planet that knows anything about the Bible, and you ask them what is the longest chapter in the entire Bible, they will tell you it's the 119th Psalm. I picked that one to say in honor of the hostages and for their quick release. And it literally took me 2 days to read it from beginning to end. I just got tired, even though it was so beautiful. It never ends. And so the subject of the 119th Psalm is the Torah and how wonderful it is. So the 8th and 9th chapters, or the 8th and 9th verses say, the Torah of the Lord is perfect, reviving the soul. The testimony of the Lord is sure, making wise the simple. The statutes of the Lord are right, rejoice in the heart. The commandment of the Lord is pure, enlightening the eyes. So if you think that is a ministry of death chiseled in stone, or that there's any indication that you have to do every law or don't do any laws, or there's no sense in doing any laws, or you think that you're freed from the law, once again, that's a bit worrisome. If you believe in the Bible, you're not freed from the law, and Jesus never said anything of the sort. It might be a mirror. It might be kind of training wheels to help us understand what sin is and how we can improve ourselves and not sin, certainly. And the fact that he says that the law caused sin, I think is also pretty far-fetched and out there, because that's nonsensical, completely nonsensical. I wanted to find one thing real quick, if we have a minute, or a moment, I should say, not a full minute. Let this come up on my phone. And it was a really good verse from the recent Torah portion. It says, this is Psalm 50, verse 23. It says, he who sacrifices a thank offering honors me, and to him who improves his way, I will show the salvation of God. Magnificent. Have a wonderful day. I think the next step is we'll start talking about perhaps some of the theories as to what the law means to Christians. I do paraphrase Paul and say that the law seems to be a stumbling block to the Christian. And once again, if you're a Christian or whatever you may be, if you have thoughts on this, just keep them respectful, and certainly put them on, and I'll read them. If you don't want me to use your name, then that's okay, or your handle. But yeah, if you've got some comments, go ahead and chime in there. But yeah, so we'll discuss what some of the ways that Christians look at the law, and how they pick which ones they need to obey, if any. And then we'll also look at how Judaism separates the law into a few different categories, so to speak. It's actually the Bible that does it, not Judaism. It's clear in the Bible. But as I said, moral versus whatever really is not one of the classifications. So enjoyed visiting with you all this evening. I hope you have a good night, and we'll see you next time. Shalom.